In order. For what purposes does the gentleman from New York, Mr. Meeks, seek recognition?
Madam Speaker, pursuant to House Resolution 1065, I call up S3522, the Ukraine Democracy Defense Lend-Lease Act of 2022, and ask for its immediate consideration in the House.
The clerk will report the title of the bill.
Senate 3522, an act to provide enhanced authority for the President to enter into agreements with the government of Ukraine to lend or lease defense articles to that government to protect civilian populations in Ukraine from Russian military invasion and for other purposes.
Pursuant to House Resolution 1065, the bill is considered read. The bill shall be debatable for 1 hour, equally divided and controlled by the chair and the ranking minority member of the Committee on Foreign Affairs. The gentleman from New York, Mr. Meeks, and the gentleman from South Carolina, Mr. Wilson, will control 30 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentleman from New York, Mr. Meeks.
I ask unanimous consent that all members have 5 legislative days in which to revise and extend their remarks, include extraneous material on S3522.
Action.
I yield myself such time as I may consume.
The gentleman is recognized.
Today I rise in support of S3522, the Ukraine Democracy Defense Lend-Lease Act of 2022. Madam Speaker, when Russia launched its renewed war against Ukraine, it thought Ukraine would fall in a matter of days. Putin and Russia thought the West would be divided, unable to offer Ukraine the support that it needed. They thought the world would believe their Russian lies. They thought that we would never stay together. Well, Madam Speaker, on all accounts, Putin has been proven wrong. 2 months ago, the people of Ukraine united in their defense of their home. And I visited Ukraine at that time, before the invasion, and they said, "We will fight. We will defend our democracy in our country." And then what happened? President Biden kept all 30 nations of NATO together, joining with and bringing on other allies and other democracies from around the world, all united like never before. And we have jointly imposed devastating sanctions on Russia, provided Ukraine with billions of dollars of security, humanitarian, and economic assistance, and we have demonstrated to Putin and to the Russian government that their actions have left them isolated. And at the time, our goal was clear. Help Ukraine do what we heard the people ask us to do, defend themselves. But it is now abundantly clear that we must adjust our assumptions and our strategies, and that we must help Ukraine, as Secretary Austin said, win. I strongly support the efforts of the administration in coordination and in close cooperation with Congress to provide as much assistance as we can to help Ukraine protect itself. We must look forward to what Ukraine needs to fend off the renewed Russian offensive in the east and ultimately win this war to retake territory, to liberate their towns and cities from Russian occupation and ongoing Russian war crimes, and to maintain and regain their sovereignty and territorial integrity. This bill is a further step in that direction. of thinking toward the long term. It can and must be part of a strategy to not only continue providing Ukraine with the weapon systems its soldiers are well trained to use, including Russian tanks and planes, the United States and NATO origin anti-air and anti-tank missile systems, and drones, but also to step up our training efforts. Through additional training, we would be able to provide more and more advanced equipment. The administration already has the authority to lend and lease equipment to allies and partners to support the United States' national security interests. And it has already been using all of the funds that Congress has given it previously. This bill will allow the administration to cut through red tape in existing Lend-Lease authorities to facilitate another channel by which all of this vital support can be provided. Specifically, this bill streamlines the processes to facilitate the administration's provisioning of lent or leased defense articles to Ukraine or Eastern European countries impacted by Russia's invasion for fiscal years 2022 and fiscal year 2023. It does so by exempting the administration from provisions of law that limit the duration of loan equipment to 5 years only, as well as exempting such loan and lease equipment from repayment of costs incurred by doing so. In short, it does not create a new program, as Lend-Lease authority is already enshrined in law, but gives the administration added flexibility in using an existing program to get vital support to Ukraine. I strongly support this bill, and I urge all of my colleagues to show the same unity that our allies have shown as we fight off this vicious invasion by Putin and Russia and Ukraine, and I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman from New York.